There's no other better way to actually cut that. I was going to be really sad. But again, guys, welcome back. This is going to be the second part of the episode of the Lone Wolf. Here with me is Speedy Terrorist. Off to the side is Octavia. She's saying some little bit, but I can't really hear her right now. But again, hello again to everyone, and we're back getting it down for the second episode of Learning League. Hopefully you learned a little bit of what jungling is, but we are going to go actually into a full-on 5v5 matchup between Speedy Terrorist's group, and we're going to have a little bit of treeness with Treeho on there as well. We're going to be I'm going to be spectating the matchup just because it's going to be easier for me to, get in on everything on the action on either top lane and also on bottom lane, middle lane, and everything else. I'm going to try to get this so that, we can explain all the aspects of jungling, of solo top, of middle, and bot, because one thing that we kind of lacked on the first episode, which is kind of sad, it kind of lacked because, it happened, was kind of explanations of how everything will be going. So I'm going to be actually doing a little bit of shotcasting as well as, just explaining a little bit of details of, what's going on with the matchup today. Again, we just came over with jungling. Is there anything else you wanted to add really about jungling and Speed Terrace really quickly?
The main goals of the jungle is just keep the pressure on the lanes and control the objectives being Baron and Dragon.
Yeah, the objectives is a big thing, and then yeah, just doing that. I think that's one thing I think most League of Legends players kind of mishap and kind of guide themselves. They want to get the kills more than that, like in the early go and learning like levels 1 through 30, and especially when there isn't that many junglers during that time trying to get your levels. So getting those early kills kind of gives you good stuff, but if you're not getting those objectives like Dragon, like Baron, like Towers, you're not actually winning the game. So it's really important to really focus on actually getting those objectives and securing map control slash map control and dominance, so that you can have a really easy, fun, and successful game for as a jungler. So we're going to be going into solo top. Solo top is a lane pretty much dedicated to being a lonesome, one-some person yet again. Solo top is usually found after level 30 or between levels 20 to 30. Between 1 to 20 you'll have a duo top lane, just because, usually they don't do jungling because it's kind of hard per se to jungle during the earlier levels. So yeah, they're going to have a solo top laner. So usually you're going to find a kind of tanky bruiser at solo top lane. Usually that's what you'll find, but there's other kind of solo tops, like you could have a Corki or some other kind of 80 carry to kind of mess up the meta of the bruiser kind of solo top laner. But it's usually just like an 80 bruiser like Lee Sin, like Jarvan, or like I would say Garen per se, Gangplank per se. Like those are kind of your tanky bruisers at top lane for like the AP side, because you can either be AP bruiser or a tank bruiser, or 80 tank bruiser, or just full on tank like Cho'Gath. You'll find AP bruisers being like Singe, who is actually more of a tank than a bruiser. You'll find Kennen, who is definitely a great mid, but also a great top as well, and Vladimir as well as a kind of bruiser-ish, just because he does have that natural spell kind of cooldown per se, but also just spell reflection and stuff. And also with Kennen, just the same thing as well. And also you'll find Rumble as a like tanky AP bruiser at top. Is there anything else that is like out of the ordinary for a top laner, like pick wise? Speedy, sorry.
Out of the ordinary, Nautilus. Top lane Nautilus is actually really good, and Lulu as well is good as well, but they're really situational and depend on team comp.
Usually it does depend on team comp, definitely, indeed. Oh wow, my lead just crashed. Give me a second, I'm gonna try to get into this in a bit. Oh no, it's getting back in, no problem. Give you a second, guys. We're actually gonna get in the matchup, but good.
It would seem like our blitz is invading.
Is he really?
Nice help.
Whoa. We do have like a blitzcrank. Just going back into team comps and stuff really quickly. It's gonna be Lee Sin, Volibear, LeBlanc, Lulu, I think Ash against an Olaf, Morgana, Jarvan, the fourth, Graves, and a blitzcrank. Sorry about this really quickly, but the spectator number for me kind of crashes sometimes, slash kind of moves his window. Like it's usually like dead center, right? And then it goes like all the way to the right where I can't even move it. So sadly for not, we're gonna be waiting up for the game to load, which is, I mean, just another 30 seconds per se or a minute or so, but it's nothing too big. Again, guys, this is Definitive Esports second episode, second episode of Definitive Esports Learning League. It is called The Lone Wolf. Even though we don't have any wolves today. And we're about to get in the game right now. So, going into the game really quickly. I'm going to remove that title. Whoops about that. But yeah. So it does look like Blitzcrank's probably going to be evading. It's not that good, but we'll see if he doesn't actually evade. So we'll see if that is the case. We're going to actually go into this game. I am going to be shoutcasting pretty much mostly what I will be doing, but yeah. So the first things first. We're going to secure that jungle. So the jungling, again, is a big aspect of League of Legends. Big aspect of League of Legends that's usually forgotten for not between levels 1 through 20. Now you can jungle it, but usually they still don't try. After level 30, it's big. Yeah, don't spoil it because it's 3 minutes ahead. But yeah.
Oh, is it 3 minutes?
Yeah, because I have a spectator mode or whatever. That's cool. Don't worry about it. I'll ask questions and stuff during the time, and we'll get you in. But we're gonna have Arrow 243, one of my good friends, gonna be playing Jarvan the Fourth. He started off cloth armor and 5 health hearts. Jarvan the Fourth is a good jungler per se with his ultimate Cataclysm. Cataclysm gets in there to whoever he wants to kind of gank and like makes a surrounding ring that stops anyone from actually going in and doing anything. We have Lee Sin, the other jungler, Treeho. He's going to be playing the Wraith. He's going to be playing the Lee Sin. He's going to go start off at red buff, and we're going to see if Blunt Master G is actually going to disrupt it. I hope not. But it might be happening. It probably is going to be happening. It definitely looks like it's going to be happening. That's really sad. Oh man, so sorry. But he missed his grab. That's good. Oh man, so tough. But yeah, Bumless G playing that Blitzcrank, not good. But yeah, Lee Sin's going to be starting out red. He's going to do that and then go there and then go clear up afterwards as well. So we're going to have 2 different paths. Lee Sin going to be a red kind of jungler, going to start that and then going around. We have Jarvan the Fourth going through his jungle. Going to start blue and then go through Wraiths and then go through red and then top as well. So usually those are the 2 paths you'll see differently through junglers. They take blue or red, or they try to invade, which we saw kind of happen right there for Blitzcrank. And we're having a little bit of disconnection issues. It looks like Treeho is actually disconnected, but that's okay. Really quickly, we're going to have a little bit of fight. Speedy Terrorist against the Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy having playing Volibear, Speedy Terrorist playing Olaf. Really quickly, Olaf is a very tanky DPS kind of character, but has a lot of bit of life steal. His W is a or a health regenerator, which is called Vicious Strikes. So Vicious Strikes, what it does, it pretty much gains up his momentum, his attack speed, but also gains his life steal as well. So he's healing off of all the other attacks he's doing to Monkey Boy right now as well, but he's just doing a lot of bit of damage with just being Olaf, because just Olaf in general is a really strong damager, because off of his true damage, which is the E Reckless Ring, gives a big mark of true damage as well. His Q for Speedy Terrorist is Undertow. Undertow, what it does, it just throws his axe, and it does a slow proc. So we're going to see it right here. It's going to be tossed. Volibear is going to try to toss with Speedy Terrorist. Speedy Terrorist is going to go Underthrow. I'm going to see if they're going to get the kill. Arrow is 243 is going to pick up the kill. But to pick up from Monkey Boy from the towers and be able to pick up a Speedy Terrorist as well right there. So yeah, we are in the 4-minute thing. It's about 500 gold difference right now, 1-1 on the kill score, and you know, Speedy Terrorist did get killed off at top lane to that tower, sadly. But good job by Arrow2143 picking up that kill. Thoughts about the matchup between Olaf and Volibear, Speedy?
At the moment,
While you're not fighting, but yeah.
I really don't like Volibear too much. He has strong, like, when a jungler ganks, but at the moment they have a DP, so the presence isn't that strong. But there is potential, but if I just get cloth armor, it kind of counters him a tad bit, and I'm really ahead of him in XP as well.
Just because you did harass him really early in the lane phase, like the early laning phase.
Even though I died under tower, his lane was pushed to tower, so he missed all the XP.
Like we were talking about before with the XP, actually pre-show to this. So really quickly, we'll go through that again at the end of the show. But you know, definitely really good if you can push that minion wave to get the XP denied from the other player. Really strong. Monkey Boy's gonna be engaged upon again. Gonna get taken down, probably under throw, gonna go, but the heal passes. All Volibear gets off. Really good in there. Okay, so Attackman just finally woke up. Kind of sad indeed, but you know, we are still going on with this game right now, so try to getting in with that. So Speedy Terrorist has a really good lead over Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy, Volibear, is a really decent top laner. I mean, he is the epitome of a tank. He is, his passive, his W passive pretty much just goes off of health. Literally, he'll build the stacks when he has, he just does his little claw movement and actually, you know, goes a little bit of attacking. And then he uses that to stack it up and do major amount of damage plus the health of whatever it is. But Speedy Terrorist picking up another kill right there for top lane. Great job by Speedy Terrorist picking that up. But yeah, so he does get that down, that W frenzy. If he does get that down with enough damage per se, he does get that kill pretty easily against. He will get that kill pretty easily against Speedy Terrorist. But again, Speedy Terrorist with that W vicious strikes can you know, just hold back, kind of just lifesteal up and do as much as he can. Again, Speedy Terrorist showing how to play a solo top lane. It's a very lonely lane, but you know, it is what it is. And here with us really quickly from all the way to Kentucky, it is Attackman. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Pretty good. Sadly, I had my alarm set for 12:30 a.m., which is not, in fact, just afternoon. It actually is 12:30 p.m. that I should have set, and I actually set my alarm for just after midnight.
So that works, no problem indeed. But you know, we're just talking about top lane really quickly. We have Speedy Terrorist. He's playing Olaf right now against a Volibear. Would you like to talk about that matchup like really quickly? Like, what do you feel or expect between that matchup really quickly?
Volibear is a very interesting top lane. You don't really see Volibear too much in top. You generally see him in jungle because, you know, he does have a lot of movement and a lot of mobility to be able to like get some ganks in. And pick up a lot of kills, but top lane he can be a pretty big terror. You know, Volibear's remake, or not Volibear's remake, but Volibear as a champion, I don't know. He does seem a little bit underpowered. You know, he does have Frenzy, which does grant him a lot of damage, and you know, he does get zoned out by a lot of tops just because of how little damage he's able to bring out in the beginning. And you know, he has his passive, which does give him a healing. I think he heals 30% of his HP over a certain amount of time. It's just kind of like a mini Mundo passive, but the problem with Volibear is just that the passive doesn't really heal enough. It can heal bait a little bit, but it just seems kind of wasted overall as a passive, because then you get it activated and you can't activate it again for like another 2-3 minutes, and you know, people can just bruise him and just because his frenzy is on such a high cooldown. It's on like a 20-second cooldown, so Like it doesn't grant enough harass, to be able to sustain while in lane.
Def- Definitely, indeed. Like, yeah, we do see that kind of happening right now. And Speedy Terrorist is kind of using that advantage, Since Monkey Boy can't really do that much damage, he's just pushing that lane and making sure that, he deny Monkey Boy CSing, which is really big. But also, just doing as much as he can to just make him lose XP as well.
Yeah, zoning is a very big part of top lane as well. Because if you can if you're able to zone people out of experience, that propels you pretty hard. But the problem is with zoning is that you do bring yourself pretty far out. And we do have an exhaust on here. You could actually pick up the kill. Monkey Boy does pick up the kill here. Using his ultimate. He does. The thing about Volibear is mid late game, he does have a deceptive amount of damage while being very tanky, and that's one of the advantages of Volibear. Is his mid late game just being able to just deal so much damage with his ultimate Thunderclaws.
Definitely, indeed. We see Triho. I think it's disconnected again, so I think this is actually a 4v5, sadly. But we do see Arrow 243 actually denying some jungle right there, counter jungling. We brushed up on this a little bit, but you want to go explain more about counter jungling?
Counter jungling is something that was used a little bit in the old jungle because the Wraiths and Golems respawn at a very long period of time. But the counter jungling here is usually now it's buffs. A lot of times you want to try to push in all three of the lanes. For example, you want to push in bottom or mid if you're trying to get into the bottom jungle, or if you want to push top and mid, and that enables the top and mid lanes to help the jungler out when they're trying to push out to invade. And invading is pretty big. If you can get the timers of each of the buffs and against them, you could pretty much contest them every time. And most of the time, a lot of people don't help the junglers out. I mean, in ranked fives, usually they do, but in like solo queue, you usually see them just kind of farming their lanes, just trying not to lose that experience. And by pushing the lane, you do have to force them to have a choice between if you want to, get the help out the jungler and make sure he doesn't die, or lose out on 2 or 3 waves of lane XP, which could be big in going against your lane opponent.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. We do see top lane getting pushed up even more. We do see Soichi going to be back into there. So I think this is the one thing we were talking about, taking that experience, and wow, he's going to live with about 1 HP right there. Great job by Speedy Terrace getting out of there. But yeah, pushing up the lane does kind of, give you a little bit of unnecessary risk, I guess I would say.
It does bring you unnecessary risk, but if you do have everything timed, you will know when the jungler is going to be going up to that buff, because especially if you have someone that's very red or blue dependent. For example, if you have Lee Sin, who's red dependent to grab his ganks, especially early. Oh, we do have flash from Octavia. She does miss it, but she does grab her her ultimate, and so she's gonna survive with just a little bit of HP. If the Demacia goes down, Arrow is gonna pick up the kill on Sochi, but escapes with 100 some HP. But oh man, I forgot what I was about to say. Yeah, if they're very red or blue dependent, you can basically just wait there, or just take the rest of his jungle and just wait for him to come up, because a lot of times he'll come up within 30 seconds of the buff spawning, and you can take advantage of that. Just make sure that you have the lanes that are close to you actually know what you're doing, because if you don't, then they're just going to be sitting around farming, and then you're going to possibly die from a 3v1 situation.
Yeah, you usually see that in solo queue. If you don't communicate, you definitely see, them being blamed, the jungler will get blamed, because giving that free kill for them, that is not a really good thing for anybody, period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a pretty scary situation for everyone.
And we're gonna go see Blitzcrank come up top. Sometimes supports do ganking. What do you feel about that? The roaming support, really quickly as well, while we go through pretty much everything of this game.
The roaming support used to be very prevalent during the old meta, which was AD carry mid and support with the AP carry bottom. But recently you don't really see the roaming meta happening too much because a lot of times that AD carry is going to need the support because chances are if they do he's going to get zoned out 24/7 if he doesn't have the support. Because if you have a support and an AD carry versus just an AD carry, you will see a lot of times they're just going to be unable to get into the creep wave because they're not really going to be pushed. And if they have like 2 or 3 oh, someone else disconnected, but if you have like 2 or 3 caster minions surviving as is pushing your side, you can pretty much just freeze that lane forever and just keep freezing it, and there's nothing the AD carry can do because the support will be able to deal tons of damage, or for example in Blitzcrank situation or Lulu situation, harass and do so much to take him out. And you see Ashe just using the ultimate there, just doing quite a bit of damage to Laser Steve, but Blitzcrank is going to be there. So it just basically comes down to if your lane is pushed and you're like pushed by the tower, you could probably have the support roam if you're fine with that situation. But if they have someone that can dive, then you can have a lot of trouble with the whole roaming support.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. We do see Suna on bot. I did miss the middle kill right quickly. Again, we're not really shoutcasting this match. We're just kind of showing up like just general things about this game so far. Sadly for not, we're gonna have a lot of bit of disconnections with the junglers per se, so we might not see a really complete game, but I mean we'll get enough out of it, especially for solo top right now. We see this speedy terrorist right here on top doing a lot of bit of work onto Volibear, even taking minions from under the tower. What do you think about this move really quickly after I find? Oh, the move of just taking CSing like under the secondary tower. Yeah.
It's a very good move actually. It helps especially when you're dominating the lane. So see, Volibear can't do anything against it, and if he does need to escape, he has 2 different choices of where to escape. If Lee Sin does appear himself out from the top side, he can go bottom and go across that way, or if he does indeed pop out from the bottom, he does have that warded, so he can just go over top and just like leave out of the lane. Nice pings there. Also, it does help him farm. It does help push the minion wave over there, and Monkey Boy is trying his best to kind of keep the minions on that side as well. And Octavia is going to be coming up for a gank here, but he is aware of it. But
Actually, I think Sochi actually flashed away.
Yeah, Sochi just kind of flashed away. Kind of got scared a little bit. I mean, he does have tons of damage. He is level 12, and the tower does go down. Sochi is getting dealt a lot of damage because Olaf does have his passive, which gives him 1% attack speed per 1% of HP missing. So when he's at really low HP, he does the most damage.
Yeah, definitely, indeed. And it looks like Speed Terrorist is still going to try to get on under Turkey's on the job. Jock riding down and down, but great job, Monkey Boy, getting that frenzy off. Sochi's going to get down as well. That Ignite is going to get the kill. Double kill for Activia right there. He's doing some great work as Morgana.
Yeah, Activia showing us from Morgana because someone else picked up against her.
Sorry about that. There is a little bit of skippiness. Today my internet's not really working out for me today, but I mean, we'll just go on from there. So really quickly, on solo top, if you run teleport, which I don't think either solo top is running right now, but if you do run teleport, when do you usually teleport with the solo top person?
Generally, when you use teleport, people don't generally abuse it, which is something that is kind of sad, which is why you don't see a lot of junglers run teleport. They're actually purposely going to grab Dragon here. That would be a good time to teleport as well, especially when you know that there's going to be engaged. If you're not going to see an engage and it's a free Dragon, you don't obviously teleport, especially when you take down a bot or take down mid. Then it's a 4v3 Dragon. You can take it easy without them really being able to do anything, especially when it's past 10 minutes into the game. But a lot of times you want to teleport is when bottom's really pushed in. You can actually teleport in for a gank with the jungler and make it 4v2. That does help out a lot. I have seen a lot of top lanes do that. You can teleport for a mid gank as well. You just need to make sure everything's warded. Just basically plant a ward and you can teleport in and make a gank 2v2 or make something else like 4v2. Just just basically helping out as much as possible. And we do see a 3v2 right here. A good time to teleport would be right now because they did dive into the tower. And no, this would have been a great anticipation. And the teleport coming down is generally used for range 5s because a lot of times people in solo queue don't really know what's happening when it comes in terms of teleport. They don't really use it as much as they should. They use it when they come back to lane, and maybe save their tower instead of using it to, you know, help out for ganks or do other things.
Rampage.
Okay, so we have activity on a rampage here. You know, they're retreating here. This would again be another decent place to start to use teleport, so you know you can counter gank. But a lot of times you see a lot of top lanes run flash exhaust, or it depends on the champions. Did you run through you know who's really top in the who's really great in the top lane for certain situations, or? Okay, what a top lane should do is shut down their opponent. You have to pretend like the jungler is not there. It's something that a lot of top laners try to stress. You have to pretend like the jungler doesn't exist, because if you don't, then you'll play way too passively and you'll just basically let the other person snowball. And we do have the ultimate hitting Olaf, but Olaf is just going to be able to ultimate his way out of it. But he might not be able to escape here if Treeho is able to actually throw. Oh, he actually does the flash there. That's a really good move. And Monkey Boy does pick up the kill, so they are starting to gain a little bit of advantage here. But the DC Lee Sin is going to be a pretty big terror for the rest of their team. I'm trying to think of. As top lane, you want to try to, you know, dominate your top lane, and but the problem is that you want to try to wait for the first blood until you actually pick up against the jungler, unless the person's taking a lot of damage and like early, just literally letting free damage happen. And some things there are too that you don't want to try to take that much damage against the other the other top lane. If you go up for last hit and you have a potential of losing like 30-40% HP, it's not worth it, because if you go up for 2 last hits, for example, right, then you'll go down 70-80% HP, and then you're going to be zoned out for the rest of the time because you're going to be unable to go against the other person. So you have to figure out when their abilities are up and when you can dodge them, etc., etc. Especially Lee Sin. Lee Sin's a very aggressive top lane. If he actually is able to land most of his combos, he can take you down a lot of HP just from you trying to get one last hit in. So you have to watch out for that, and you know, be able to dodge a lot of the different things that are being thrown your way as a top lane. You know, you can zone out, and you can try to like zone your opponent. The stronger you are mid late game, the more protection you can give for the rest of your team. Or if you're a assassin like Riven, you know, you can deal a lot of damage and pick up a lot of kills for your team, because the other top is going to be pretty useless. And you know, then afterwards you can push the lane, and this is something that M5 has really adopted too, is if you push the lane and pick up different buffs, or pick up different golems and stuff like that, and counter jungle after you push it into the tower. It's something that I've seen M5 do quite often. It's, you know, you grab golems, you can check red buff, you can plant a ward at red buff, which will help your jungler vastly, especially when you know where exactly they are. Because if they grab red buff and you're pushed in, chances are the jungler is going to come up for a gank. So it's always a very good thing. And we have a split kill from Speedy Terrace and Sochi right there. Is your stuff fixed yet? For team fights, it always depends on the person that's actually up solo top. For example, like Singed. Singed will be kind of an initiator. You know, he activates his ultimate. He has a lot of movement speed, so he's going to be able to run down through the team without really dealing too much damage. Like for example, like Udyr, same example, flash initiator. You can have Maokai top. Maokai is flash initiator. For this situations, we have Olaf. Olaf does a lot of damage, and he can tank a lot of things. So chances are you'll see him go straight for the AP AD carry because he doesn't really have much CC. So he can't really protect the AD AP carry too much. So he's going to go against their enemy AP AD and try to take them out as quickly as possible, especially with his ultimate. You know, being able to remove all CC for a set period of time. Volibear does have some CC, so chances are he's going to use it to protect his AP AD carry. You know, because your AP AD carry mid late game are the ones that are dealing all the damage, and unless you have someone like Riven or Talon top lane, which isn't really the... Riven is a really great suggestion, but Talon top isn't really the best suggestion because a lot of people counter Talon top. Other than that, like team fights, you want to try to protect your AP AD carry as much as possible as your top lane. People like Renekton are pretty good at it. Okay, with solo top jungler initiations too, you want to have the solo top, especially for that gank, you want to have that solo top help out in the initiation, because a lot of times you see solo tops just kind of stand there, walk back and forth, wait for you to make the first move, and that's generally not the best thing, because when you make the first move, it does make things very complicated to try to pick up the gank, because you want to try to come in from the behind, and if you do pop out, and you pretty much give away what you're doing right away instead of having him initiate or have a trade or be stunned, etc. And then you can come in. Then you can, for example, as Skarner, you know, you can pop in, you know, apply your red buff and apply your crystal slash, and that will pretty much secure a kill in the early game, like for first blood or for the first 5 minutes, until you do get your ultimate. But you know, you always have to have that. The top lane, even top lane and mid lane, you always have to have them start the initiation, unless it's a situation where they're completely pressed against their tower, and in that case, it's if they don't really see it, it's pretty much a free kill.
It looks like Activia is doing a lot of bit of work right now on everybody. So I think that's just from top lane pressure, but jungle pressure as well. I mean, sadly for not, Lee Sin has been doing kind of a-okay, but you know, it's looking pretty dismal for blue team right now. But I mean, thanks for covering me in. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of lag display or something like that. Kind of got into me. But we're gonna see if Arrow 243 gonna get tossed around. Gonna try to get around this. Gonna cataclysm out to Soichi, and Soichi's gonna be able to get the kill. Actually, TRP him to get the kill. And Laser Steve is actually gonna try to save him as well. But definitely good job by Monkey Boy picking up the kill right there.
Yeah, and the thing is that Laser Steve was actually going to try to pick up the kill on Sochi, but because of the Cataclysm that when Jarvan died, he was unable to pick it up because he couldn't reach him in time.
Poor Jarvan, always helping. Really quickly, again, we were talking, Attackman was talking, I had to be listening really quickly. But, you know, what are some other basic kind of like jungler / solo tops? We did talk about it, we touched around with it with Speedy, but you know, what do you think? We did talk about it, we touched around with it with Speedy, but you know, what do you think are some like basic ones that you would want to play in general?
I would want to play, for the two biggest ones I would want to play are Lee Sin and Udyr. Lee Sin is a very strong top laner, he beats up a lot of top laners, very aggressive. Udyr is a very, very strong top lane. His utility in top lane, like he can pretty much counter anyone. He beats a lot of people in lane just because of how tanky he is with turtle stance and his Q, his tiger stance. If the person didn't build magic resistance, because some people don't against top laners because they expect an AD, it deals so much. Oh, Treehoe's actually going to be able to get that kill and shut down Speedy Terrorist right there. But if you do have, you know, like if you're unable to build magic resist, Udyr's Q does a lot of damage. Another person to pick up is the Lee Sin, obviously, is very aggressive top lane. Riven, again, very aggressive top lane, very big assassin. If you want to have an assassin character, that is one person you want to have. Vladimir would be a very good big good top lane pick as well, because he does counter a lot of people in it. He can harass pretty hard, and if he's able to stay back like that, then he's gonna get pretty strong. And once he hits level 7 to level 9, you know, he's pretty much an unstoppable force in lane if you don't pick up a kill on him. But the problem is he's very bad against a lot of early game champions. So if you do have an early game champion, for example, like Renekton, going up against him, then it's not the best type of choice, because he'll be able to burst him down and deal a lot of damage to him early. Again, another good person would be Renekton. A lot of people strayed away from him, but I love his early game. He can beat anyone 1v1, like, period. But the problem is his mid-late game scaling is not the best. But he can do his role really well as a tank and as an initiator, and also as a protective person. And his ultimate with Sunfire Cape does deal a lot of damage mid-late game anyway. So it's going to be really hard for him to avoid him. Plus, the fact that he'll have like 4k HP during that period of time means that his Atlas Impaler will be dealing a lot of damage for it. And looks like purple team is going to be picking up the Baron and pick up an extra 1500 gold. But thinking of other champions, Rumble is actually really good. He's actually been strayed away from. There's no Rumble buffs or nerfs that happen, but people just completely forgot about Rumble. And Kennen is a really good top lane pick as well, because he does counter a lot of people. But actually, the most interesting thing is, it's actually AD Kennen, which counters everyone. People don't realize that AD Kennen counters so many people up top. Wings of Death advertised it a little bit as well. If you have AD Kennen top, you have mixed damage happening. You know, you have AP and AD damage occurring on the target, so it's impossible for the person to to grab, especially when you max W first. Then you have a problem with building armor or building magic resist in the lane, because Kennen will be doing a lot of magic resist damage, but at the same time, a lot of magic damage, but at the same time, it will be dealing a lot of AD damage since he is building AD. So it's impossible to counter him using items, and he has a lot of poking harass and a lot of escaping ability with lightning rush. So I do like AD Kennen as a top lane. Not really seen too much at all, but it's a very, very strong top lane.
Oh no, PRP's gonna be caught right there. Ugh, that was dirty. But yeah, I do like AD Kennen as well. You've seen me play AD Kennen, or actually, I don't know if you've seen me actually play, but you know, I play AD Kennen quite a bit as well. Looks like it's gonna be the last few pushes for purple team right here. They do have Baron, and they are pushing up the turrets really quickly. They are picking up the kills right now onto Soichi, and you know, Olaf is just showing his dominance right now. You know, Olaf is a really good solo top, no?
Yeah, Olaf is a really strong solo top. The problem is his early game. He doesn't really deal too much damage early, but if you have someone that's really good early game, they can counter him. I mean, there has been discussion between who oh, that was a nice kick into the inhibitor turret, or not the inhibitor turret, but the fountain turret. But there's been a really big debate on who counters Olaf. Does Riven counter Olaf or Olaf counters Riven? I think Riven counters Olaf because a lot of the times early game it's going to be really hard for Olaf to kind of compete against her. There's just way too much damage happening, but if he does get the E's off or gets the Q's off without Riven being able to get in range of him, then he can counter it. It's kind of a skill matchup. But Olaf is really strong. You know, especially after his buffs that he's had, he became a really strong top lane pick. He does really well against people who are really generally very tanky due to like armor, for example. I've seen solo top Taric. That's a big one that he can absolutely dominate, doing the true damage through his shatter, and also Shyvana as well. He does do a lot of damage. He is a Dragon Slayer after all.
Yeah, definitely, indeed that. We talked about solo top pretty extensively right here, but you know, jungle lane was something of a topic, and you know, we did miss you out for a little bit. Some basic picks for jungle as well.
Basic picks for jungle, the 3 top junglers that have been known so far is Dr. Mundo, Udyr, and I believe it's Shyvana. Shyvana, because of her clearing speed, is blazingly fast. You know, you can counter jungle as quickly as possible. You can counter jungle at level 1, especially if you have an Alistar coming up on the side with you. You know, it does give you that little bit of CC to be able to go in and counter jungle. Udyr has a really fast clear speed. His ganks aren't as strong as, you know, as people kind of say. If you have flash, you can use a flash bear stance. That stun does help out. And Dr. Mundo, after his buff to his W, Burning Agony, he does do a lot more damage now in the jungle, as well as not, instantly dying after the first wave because he activated W. That really helps out his jungle. He basically has almost the same clear speed as Shyvana with the W, especially if you level it up first. And these ganks are really strong, especially with you have Cleaver and Red Buff. You can Cleaver them, hit them, and then use Red Buff, and you're pretty much perma-slowing the person that you're ganking and getting an easy kill. Another couple that are unappreciated in the jungle that you don't really see. Maokai is a very strong jungler, especially if you want to try to get ganks in. If you want to gank heavy jungler, you want to go Maokai. You can get level 3 by doing Wraiths, Wolves, or not Wraiths, blue buff, Wolves, and Wraiths again. That you can get level 3 off of that and gank mid, and a lot of times you can pick up first blood off of that, especially if the person tries to press up the lane. Another person is Skarner. Skarner does really well, being able to push and do a relatively good amount of damage, and Trundle as well. Trundle is a really strong jungler. I love Trundle. He excels in a lot of abilities. The problem is he doesn't really have any CC. He does have his pillar. If you do land a pillar very correctly, you can get a very good gank off. So those are my junglers that I like and prefer.
Yep, definitely, indeed. It looks like it's going to be ending up this little matchup. Again, guys, we were just kind of freeform it, but we kind of got what we wanted out of this matchup. Pretty much just showing off what solo top, especially what Olaf is doing, some really well stuff. But also, just showing off what jungles do, what counter jungling is. I mean, those are the basic things you'll be seeing in the later stages or level 30, but you can start doing that at level 1, level 2, level 3 as a summoner as well. Other than that, we do, have all the basic stuff down. I mean, was there anything else you wanted to touch upon as, just in general for solo top or jungling attack lane?
Another thing with jungle is you have to make sure you know when every buff is. A lot of times, a good thing to do, this might be a little bit advanced, is to put timers for everything. There are 6 different types of timers you want to try to have. You want to try to have your red buff, which you can put as OR as an abbreviation, R red. You can put R blue, OB, and then you put the timers, and they're blue, they're red, Baron, and Dragon. Those are the 6 that you want to try to have. You want to put each timer. Blue buff and red buff expire at 5 minutes, and so you want to put it accordingly, in time. And you also have Dragon. Dragon is a 6-minute. You want to try to make it after you down Dragon. You want to put the timer plus 6 minutes, and Baron is 7 minutes. A lot of times people don't really do that, and if you do it, that does give you a very great advantage because you'll know the timers on every single one of the buffs. If you know that someone's grabbing red first, for example, like Lee saying, you can pretty much set to go down there by 7 to 10 will probably be when the first red will spawn, unless he completely messes up. So just those little things help out so much in just getting the whole jungler aspect down. The difference between a good jungler and a bad jungler is the awareness of the map. If you don't have great awareness as a jungler, you will often see yourself overwhelmed because a lot of lanes will need help. Or sometimes when you have games where all 3 lanes fail, then they kind of all point and blame the jungler. But it's always good if you play jungler. Always make sure you have a great awareness of the map, and also take a lot of criticism because jungler is probably the most blamed out of all of them because they're the ones that are supposed to have control on every single lane.
Definitely, and yeah, it's kind of sad seeing that really quickly as well. Speedy tip. So it's going to be the ending show of Definitive Esports number 2. Sorry. Wow. It's been a long day. I mean, you can see it's already nighttime in this area, and this is actually a restream, but I'm actually recording a different ending because the ending right now is kind of audio bug. So that happens. But The Lone Wolf, episode 2 of Definitive Esports Learning League. We do have the Q&A section, but it wasn't too big. I mean, we did learn about attack feigns, name, and we did also learn about Speedy Terrorist's name. But other than that, you can go refocus that. You can refocus it, but you can also connect with that with talking to them, or even in the next episode, episode 3, which will be running support slash everything else about the game. And then from there, we're just going to be going off of professional players. I'm going to probably look over some replays over some people, and just looking over just little things other people do other than usual normal people do through the next few episodes after the 3rd episode, which is going to be support slash general closing of Learning League for the first 2-3 episodes. Other than that, thank you again for watching. Whoever did watch the restream or the live stream, it was cool. Thank you again for Sochi, Monkey Boy, Treehope, Beef Juice, PRP, Arrow 243, Octavia, Speedy Terrorist, Laser Steve, Blood Master G for coming into the game, being awesome, doing that custom with us. So bad for Treehope to get disconnected just a few bit of times, but I mean it happens. It does happen. Other than that, thank you again for watching Definitive Esports Learning League Episode 2, The Lone Wolf. Again, my name is L3RD. You can check me out at facebook.com/L3RDgaming. But check out Definitive Esports, this side, that side, that side, d-esports.com. You can also check out their YouTube and their Twitter. Check out our sponsors as well. We have Antec Inc., which is a really good one. And also Zowie Gear for their Twitter, twitter.com/Antec Inc., twitter.com/Zowie Gear. They're the great people that gave me some new stuff, which I'll be showcasing soon. So definitely, check that out as well. And thank you again from me to you, you to me, and for everybody who watched, for everyone who played, for everyone who loved the show. It was really interesting, really technical difficulty, but we pulled through. Again, we're gonna be doing Learning League again at 2 p.m. We're gonna have a little bit of a better starting time just for everyone. It actually helps me, helps you out too, and we'll get there again. For Definitive Esports, this is L3RD. I'm gonna be signing out. Thank you again, guys, for watching, and we'll see you later.